What is up, everybody? We're live on YouTube.
Hello.
All right, so let's start testing. I like how the viewership changes so drastically all the time. It'll be like 6 people, and then it'll be like no people.
that's because people don't have like
Patience.
they don't have an attention span anymore.
Yeah, I know. Now it's back to 3 viewers. Then in a minute it'll be like 0 again. Not even a minute, a second. All right, and I mean, you can't blame them. We're kind of sitting here doing nothing a lot of times, so just
I guess it's true.
it'll just be like me. Test your audio, please, Bob. Test.
Testing.
This is what they came here for.
That's high quality entertainment right there. Watching the sound check.
Oh boy. I'm gonna state how I think Busch feels like a lot more of a historical park than it really is. You know, it feels like whenever you're at Busch, it just feels like it's been there forever. Like it feels like an older park. It really isn't that old though. I mean, I always thought that it was the first Busch park. I never realized that Tampa was the first one until a couple years ago. Tampa just looks like a newer park. I've never been there, but based on point of view videos and stuff like that.
Wait, Tampa is it?
Tampa opened in '69.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, oh.
Yep.
Well, wait. That's the same time Williamsburg opened.
No, Williamsburg opened in '75.
No, you're right. They bought the land in '69.
Yeah, so the company, I mean, the Anheuser-Busch was there, but not Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, yeah.
Interesting.
Is Busch in your top 5 parks or what? Is it? It's in mine, but I was wondering if it's in yours.
My top 5 parks?
Just if you had to guess. I mean, I'm not looking at mine. I think it's like my 3rd or 4th favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably there.
Yeah.
It's on the line of my top 5.
I don't know. There's something about that park. Even though I've been there, I mean, it's different with Kings Dominion. You know, I keep going back there. It kind of gets old. Busch Gardens just never gets old. I don't know what. There's so much to do, and it's just such a beautiful atmosphere that it just, no matter how many times I go, which I'll state in the podcast. I don't know why I feel like explaining that to you when we're gonna do that in like 10 minutes. So. And then you'll be like, yeah, and then you'll be like, let me tell you the story, and then it'll be like 20 minutes, and I'll be like, all right, let's record the podcast now and do that exact same thing over again. Anybody watching this, if you guys want to, we're going to be doing a weekly poll, or not a weekly poll, it was last week's weekly poll, the most historically significant rides that are still in operation to this day. If you want to put that in the comments section so we can read them off, that would be great, because any more information we can talk about is always, we're always grateful to have that subject matter to talk about.
And definitely stick around, because we're going to do something that I think is going to be a lot of fun.
This is going to be a good episode, yeah. Last week this was, well, we didn't record it live, but it was a bit difficult and didn't end up as well as I thought, just because of audio problems and stuff like that. So I think this is going to be a very good episode, so.
Yeah. I'm excited for Coaster Craze. I'm really excited.
I'm just excited for this whole episode. It's going to be nice, this whole episode, I think. But I am excited for Coaster Craze, too. That's going to be different.
Yeah.
I need to look into getting some. And this is, if you're watching off topic, this is exciting news. I need to look into getting something. I need to get some new audio for the podcast, like new audio segments. I don't know if I know anybody or if you can figure anything out. I know you do computer and design. I know it's not the same at all. What you're doing. You don't do like
know anybody that
radio
does.
broadcasting or anything like that. But I need to find someone that can do like a new intro for me. I like the intro I have, but it's kind of outdated, and B, I don't really like using.
Can we get Pittsburgh Dad to intro us?
Oh my gosh. Yins need to go down. Yins are listening to Costa. I can't even do a Pittsburgh accent. It's sad. I'm from Pittsburgh. I mean, I'm not from Pittsburgh, but I have a lot of family from Pittsburgh, and I can't even do it. I sound like an Italian mobster whenever I try to do it.
I love Pittsburgh Dad so much. Did you watch his quarantine one?
No, I haven't watched him in a while.
Oh my god.
I used to watch. I watched the ones where he go to Kennywood though, because. God darn, I can't even do it. So I definitely need to look into getting someone to do an intro, and I need to look into doing like new, like for park preview. I have like a.
I'm sorry.
For like park preview, I have like I say like it's time for park preview, and then it goes in and it's like a camera snapping. It's like because we're like it's like almost like we're like the paparazzi photographing, like it's the preview of this park or whatever. That's what I was thinking of, and I can only find a certain amount of audio, so I need to get someone like that does radio broadcasting to actually like create an audio segments like that. And I would like Coaster Talk.
Yeah.
You know, I think it would be cool if we had like in the intro it would be like there's a couple people in the background screaming on a roller coaster, and then you have like that would be cool. I need to think.
That's what Roller Coaster Tycoon's for.
Or Planet Coaster.
That's true.
I don't know. I need to get somebody to figure that out. And then I would need to get Mike Collins to redo one because it needs to say Bob Mertz too. James Barber and Bob Mertz. And then, Coaster Craze is just the Joker from Batman, like the 1990s Batman cartoon laughing. So it's not the best. We could do better. It needs to sound more professional. But it's fine. One day we'll look back on it and we'll have really good quality and be like, that was the good fun old days when we were...
Yeah. That's how it works.
And like Attraction News, not a huge fan of that. I know it's kind of like dun 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 dun, like the World News CBS thing. It's all right, but
yeah,
it could be better.
Yeah, I've never actually looked. Is there like stock audio that you?
I don't know where. I don't know. I'm curious to see where I listen to a lot of podcasts that do different audio things. I don't know where they get their audio from. I know like you can use video editors, but my video editor has it doesn't have that many sound bites. It has a couple, but I don't know where else you're supposed to get it from. I need to look into that eventually. I mean, we'll have like 3 months now, so. What was that? Are you just listening to different random sounds?
AudioJungle.net.
Oh. Yeah, we should look into that. Maybe I don't know. We'll figure that out. That'll be later. Maybe later we'll talk about that. All right. Are you ready for episode 67 of Coaster Talk Podcast?
Let's do this thing.
So I think I'm going to start off saying how I'm excited that there's one positive thing coming from this quarantine, and that is I'm able to much easierly than I was update the YouTube channel. I'm going to be producing a lot of content. So
that's true.
I'd say in the next couple of weeks we'll have at least 30 to 40 new videos up that were not planned. I mean, there's so many reviews and stuff that I'm behind on. It's not even crazy. Like, I haven't never done a Voyage review, and I rode Voyage a year ago. I have never done Lightning rod review. I rode lightning rod 3 years ago. It's just like crazy how behind I am. And then like on videos, there's so many videos on like my phone and stuff that I recorded and like never put. I'm not gonna post old vlogs, but I could, and I would. I mean, I'd have like 80 videos because I have vlogs from like 2018 when like I was at this park or that park, and I just never posted it because I was lazy.
I I'm still in awe of this, like saying Merlin's Mayhem is rattly. I don't understand. It's like I feel like I'm violated. I don't understand. It's
gosh.
like the smoothest coaster I've ever been on.
All right, here, let's test your audio.
This is a test of my audio. Let me explain to you how much I love Merlin's Mayhem being a family coaster. And how appalled I am to finally hear two people tell me that it is a rough coaster. Is that enough? Or do you want me to go on?
That is good.
I kind of want to go on.
It's all right. Let me test mine now. Testing the audio for Coaster Talk podcast number 67. Your source for everything roller coasters. I don't know what that was. Testing the audio for Coaster Talk podcast number 67.
Why is YouTube dumb?
You're asking questions that keep me up at night, Bob.
I think my video's frozen on the stream.
It is. Nope, now it's not.
Sure, it's not. Well, I may be I might be lagged.
Yeah, I think you are. Because it's not.
There we go.
All right.
All right.
You pretty much ready?
What? Yep.
All right, let's get ready. Let's go to business. I just said that completely backwards. I said let's go to ready and get ready for business, but it's let's get ready and let's go to business.
Let's get ready to rumble.
All right.
Is that still a current thing, or is that like a 90s thing?
WrestleMania?
I mean, that saying, do they still use it?
I don't know. I think it's still pretty relevant. Yeah, I think it's still used. All right. Ready?
Yep.
Let's see. How long have
Are
we
you
been...
reading? You reading this history, or am I? Or
well, you said we're just gonna wing it, so we'll just wing it.
Okay, let's win it. I like winning it.
That way, it doesn't sound scripted either. I don't like podcasts that sound scripted. I know last week we did, but that was from Kenny Woods. I mean, Knoebels, whatever.
How dare you mistake Kennywood for Knoebels, or Knoebels for Kennywood, or
Either or.
I think my video froze again.
Did not.
It's frozen on my screen.
When it freezes like that, it's actually frozen on Discord. So that's like your thing, freezing. So I mean, it's not frozen now, but.
All right. Well, people in the chat, If my screen just freezes, well, deal with it.
Get over it.
Get over it.
You can still get to see me.
We're at the mercy of Discord.
I'm still awesome, so I'm still here.
Yeah. Okay.
On OBS it says, OBS shows me you're not frozen.
Oh wait, I'm moving again.
Yeah, you're moving again. All right. Hopefully it maintains. I don't have time to fix that 800 times. Alrighty, let's get to business. Oop, and I just opened Spotify, so 1 second.
That's not gonna help.
And it says it's installing Spotify on my computer now. What the hell? No, I already have it installed from first of all. Alright, there we go. That was weird. I've installed Spotify so many times on my computer. I don't know why it's saying that. Oh, and now it's opening. So I did have it installed, so why were you trying to install it? Alright, whatever. Okay, here we go.
Whoa, now you froze. Well, whatever you just said, it skipped and stuttered.
Uh-oh. At least it's not as bad as last week. I think we can make it.
So far.
Nah, there's no way it's gonna be that bad. That had to do with my quality being terrible, as well. Or not my quality. What am I talking about? My Wi-Fi was not very good. They have terrible Wi-Fi down there.
I'm gonna just when I record the podcast, I'm just gonna run a cable the whole way through the house to the basement.
I honestly think what we could start doing is you could record your own audio on your end, and that way, even if it does start skipping on my end, and maybe we don't hear each other exactly, but we can still, the audio will still sound good for the podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but wouldn't that be a problem cutting that together?
What do you mean? You just send me your audio clip, and then I put mine. It's just the same thing that I do now. I record our audio separately.
My audio separately and put it together with
yours.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, that's what I do. I mean, it's not possible to do it that way without having a what's it called, a mixer. So I'd have to get an actual box and run your audio through it, and then. So I mean, do you think? I don't know. Maybe one day we'll try that.
Yeah, might be able to.
All right, let's get ready. Let's go. I keep saying let's get ready. Let's actually do it. All right, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Coaster Talk, your source for everything roller coasters. This is episode number 67. It is April 6th, 2020, and I have still not gotten to a theme park. This is crazy. I mean, we were supposed to have gotten there. I was supposed to have been to the theme park a couple of weeks ago. This week coming up was supposed to be Kings Island Media Day, and Bob, we're still sitting here in our houses.
Yeah, well, you actually got to Texas.
Yes, so I got a little bit of a break. I don't
want to hear it. You and your little cheat code.
Yeah, so if there's one thing that comes positive out of this whole quarantine, is that the YouTube channel, Coaster Talk Podcast YouTube channel, is going to be brimmed to the full with new videos. I'm releasing content almost every day now, which is awesome. So if you guys want to check that out, I'm going to be having my top 10s. I'm going to be doing reviews, doing different awesome things. Me and Bob actually have a couple of things in the works that we're going to be talking about, and then later a couple of weeks possibly doing on the YouTube channel. So that's one positive thing coming out of this all, is that Coaster Talk, the content is going to be rolling out of Coaster Talk. So this does not put a damper on our plans at all.
Yeah, I mean, not on our Coaster Talk plans.
Yeah, other coaster plans, it is definitely dampered, as we're now, 1 second. I don't understand my family sometimes, Bob. I don't get them.
What?
I don't know why they would open the door. 1 second.
I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick. We'll be back, chat room. Stay there.
Oh boy. I don't understand logically how if you see someone recording a podcast, why you would walk in the room still. Doesn't make much logical sense to me. Oh, you're not there either. Bob is just gone. All right, well, I'm talking the live stream then. Doesn't make sense to me. So, everyone on the YouTube, everyone watching this live, I'll keep you guys updated. We're doing a lot of reviews on the YouTube channel now. I have a Polished Chariot review we just did. Switchback is ZDTs a couple days ago. I'm planning on doing some other ones soon. Texas Stingray will be up soon. And then I just kind of plan on hitting, a bunch of parks that I've missed in the past. I mean, I have a whole list of attractions that I need to review drastically. I have a Coaster Talk list of reviews right here. So I'm going to be doing different types of countdowns. I'm going to do like the top 10 at King's Dominion, the top 10 at Fiesta Texas, top 10 at Holiday World. Well, not Holiday World, they don't even have 10, but top coasters at Holiday World, coasters at Cedar Point, coasters at SeaWorld San Antonio. I'm going to I already did my least favorite coasters. I just had that out. I was like the top 5 worst coasters I've ridden. I'm going to do bucket list parks I have outside of the United States. I already did one with bucket list parks inside the United States. I'm going to do the top 10 B&M models, the top 10 Intamin coasters, the top 10 RMC coasters, coaster logos. I'm going to do top 10 coaster logos. And then reviews, I have Texas Stingray I'm going to do, Steel Vengeance, Phantom's Revenge, Fiera 325, Sky Rush, Lightning Rod, Leviathan, El Toro, Talon at Dorney Park, Superman Ride of Steel at Six Flags America, Mystic Timbers, Wicked Cyclone, Goliath at Six Flags Adventure World, Voyage, Holiday World, Lightning Run at Kentucky Kingdom, Phoenix at Knoebels, and then I'm going to do Holiday World Park Review, Busch Gardens, and then like all the parks I've been to. I'm going to review all the parks I've been to as well. And then I have Coaster Clashes coming up as well. Iron Rattler versus Twisted Timbers will be soon. And also Maverick and I-305. I think those are two good battles to have. That's where I compare two rides and see which one comes out on top. And then I'm going to do Phantom's Revenge and Sky Rush as kind of like the king of Pennsylvania there as well. So I have those two. Those are the videos I have to come. And those all should be rolling out of here. I'm trying to upload a video a day. Tonight I'm actually going to be uploading the top 10 wooden coasters that I've ridden. So yeah, I'm going to be content's going to be kind of flying out of here. I'm very excited. Tomorrow I think I'm doing the Texas Stingray review. And then who knows after that? I don't know. I like to do like a review. And then I like to do like more of a fun video because I know reviews aren't for everybody. So I'll do a review one day, and then the next day it'll be like a Coaster Clash or a top 10, and then I'll do a review again. And then it'll be like a Coaster Clash review or whatever. So that way I'm not producing content. Like I'm not gonna release like 20 reviews in one day because that's a little bit bland. I don't know where Bob is right now. This is kind of crazy. Come on, Bobby boy, I can do this intro without you. So yes, though, this is going to be an exciting time for Coaster Talk. So if you haven't subscribed or I don't know, hopefully everyone watching a live stream has subscribed. But if you have friends out there that aren't subscribed or whatever, let them know that, this channel is the real deal now. I'm not just, doing live streams like I used to. I'm not just, this is going to be serious. I'm going to be doing reviews. And then once you get back to parks, there's going to be a lot of vlogs. A lot of vlogs and me walking around the park a lot. I call them park trips. It's just when I go to the park and, it'll be my experience. I'll have some footage and then I'll kind of like review the rides, talk about the park, talk about the food, talk about a lot. So I'm going to be doing a lot of that when we get back to parks. So this is going to be a channel of countdowns, reviews, live streams. I'll be doing live streams more often, analysis and speculations. When new rides come out, me and Bob will sit down and talk about those. Yeah, that's when new rides are announced. When there's construction footage, I'll have that up. And so yeah, this is an exciting time for Osher Talk. We're really expanding this channel. It's going to be a serious channel now. It's not just whenever I feel like uploading. I'm going to be pretty serious about having a regularly, when we get back into the regular, season, I think it'll be more of like a video per week. Right now I'm going to be doing, 7 or 8 videos a week because I'm going to be trying to release a video at least once a day. All right, here he is. What's up? Are you back?
I was going to see how long it would take you to notice I was back.
I saw you on the live stream for a little second, but... All right, so you ready then?
I am ready.
I was kind of talking to myself, but I was also talking to the audience, just telling them it's a lot of the videos that we're going to be doing on the channel. All right, let's get down to business.
All right, let's do this.
Okie dokie. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Coaster Talk, your source for everything roller coasters. My name is James Barber.
And I'm Bob Mertz.
And this is episode number 67. It's April 6th, 2020. And it is not April 6th, 2020. It's the week of April 6th, 2020.
Yeah.
Or is it? It's actually not, but whatever. It will be. It will be. All right, here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Coaster Talk, your source for everything roller coasters. My name is James Barber.
And I'm Bob Mertz.
Oh, all right. Your audio just cut out really bad there. It's all right.
Excellent.
Of course, right when you say I'm Bob Mertz, you don't talk for 10 minutes and then you say I'm Bob Mertz and it's like, all right.
I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Coaster Talk, your source for everything roller coasters. My name is James Barber.
And I'm Bob Mertz.
And this is episode number 67. It's the week of April 6th, 2020. And I have yet to get on a roller coaster, Bob, and I'm pretty mad about that still.
I'm about to build one.
Yes, I'm on the verge. I'm on the verge of just, saying, screw it. I'm just going to disassemble my house and just start constructing out of the wood I have there. That just start building a coaster.
I'm just going to take a bike up under the roof and just coast on.
Yeah.
What happens.
We're reaching the point of no return here. It's crazy. I'm supposed to have gone to Kings Dominion Ambush Gardens, and this coming week, me and you both are supposed to be heading to Kings Island for their opening day. And it's all this COVID-19 has really put a damper on that, which sucks. I understand, obviously, it's necessary, but it is definitely not the spring I was hoping for. People are saying like you're getting basically a summer break early, but really, you're not. I mean, this is like. It's a much worse summer break. Yes, you're out of school.
Don't go to school, but don't do anything else either.
Exactly. You have to kind of have a trade-off there. You can either go to school and get to do fun stuff, or you get to sit at your house all day and not.
It's like that conundrum of like saying you're too sick to go to school.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Like,
it is.
You can get out of school and say, "Mom, I'm really sick."
Then your mom's going to say, okay.
You want to go out that night, you're sick. You can't go out.
And you're not going to get to watch. My mom used to say, if you're actually sick, you're going to sit in your bed all day. You're not going to get to watch TV or anything like that. And I'm like, never mind. I'll just go to school.
Oh, man. That would make me sick.
Yeah. So if there's one positive thing coming out of this, though, I do want to, let's think positively here for a second. Coaster Talk's YouTube channel is going to be full of new videos because of this. I'm trying to release a video daily on the channel, which normally I try to release one, weekly basis. But because of this, I'm actually sitting on my computer for a couple hours a day and just and editing new videos and recording new videos. So if there's one good thing out of this, if you guys aren't subscribed to the Coaster Talk YouTube channel, you should be, because there's going to be videos flying out of here, and it's going to be continuous. We're not going to stop. This is going to be not just for this quarantine, but also after this. I'm hoping to start doing more videos at parks, recording footage of myself and others. If I'm with Bob or I'm with whoever I'm with, I'll do, and hear our thoughts and opinions on the park. So Coaster Talk Podcast YouTube channel is the real deal now. It's not just my lazy schedule now. It is. I'm actually pretty serious about this. And this quarantine is really helping with me getting to catch up on rides and stuff that I haven't reviewed before, or top 10 lists that I haven't done before. So this is a good time right now to check out the Coaster Talk YouTube channel, because we're going to have new videos daily here for the next couple months until this quarantine is uplifted.
It's good to hear.
Yeah,
So even me, whenever if work slows down for me, being an essential employee, I feel like I'm missing the vacation.
Everyone's like, "What do we do?" And you're like, "Can you want to take some of this for me?"
I'm like, holy crap! I just want to stay home.
Can you take some of the workload for me?
For those that don't know, I work in data centers, and I maintain parts of the internet. It is the easiest way to say it. So, with all of you being home, you're putting stress on everything that I do. So,
because right now is pretty much the triple point of the internet right now. Everyone is on the internet. That is how we're coping with this. Just imagine like a nationwide power out right now. People would literally go insane. People would go insane. Wow, man. You never realize how much you rely on the internet until things like this happen, where you're basically, your entire day revolves around it. So
yeah, oh my God, what would we do?
I don't know.
I mean, even those times that I do have, like I wouldn't have any knowledge. I wouldn't know anything.
Yeah, we'd just be reading books.
It's kind of weird, like talking about roller coasters, like happened before the internet.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, like how did Ace form? I mean, there was that's crazy.
Oh no, well, there were news groups of people like. I mean, I
know that.
Real involved back then, but like, it's so weird. It's like, I grew up without a cell phone, and it feels weird. I don't know. It's like I can't live without a cell phone, but I did. Like, I don't know.
It's just crazy how essential internet has become to humans now. It's like, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, especially listening to this podcast, you're realizing how essential it is. So we're gonna talk. This is a good episode of Coaster Talk. We have a lot planned. We have some fun stuff to talk about in all of our segments, actually. Last week was a bit of a technical mess because of locations, and Bob's internet was out. My internet was acting up. So this week I'm hoping that everything comes through clear. Hopefully last week you understood most of what we were saying. I know it was tough for me to edit, so if you think it's hard to listen to, think of trying to edit it and figure out what we're saying. So, all right, let's move on to the first segment, the newer segment that we've introduced to the show, the segment we call Park Preview. Why did I say that so weird? I said Park Preview.
I still feel like we need to go. Da, 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 da.
Attraction news. Oh, we forgot to talk about King's Dominion. That doesn't really matter.
Whatever.
It doesn't really matter. Not that big of a deal.
It's only a free spin.
Yeah, and we've already talked about it enough. Kings Island's a great park. Thank you for watching. All right. Let's talk about the old country. I know a lot of people that skip out on Busch Gardens. That's what I'm going to start off with. People come to Virginia, go to King's Dominion, and then just kind of drive by Busch Gardens and don't go for some reason. Whenever they're doing big road trips, I see that a lot. It's really strange.
Some of it has to do with Busch Gardens' price, and
really, the location. They're kind of out of the way, but still, I mean, it's well worth the trip.
But the other thing is, though, I mean, previously, there wasn't enough to, like, King's Dominion had the draw for thrill seekers. That's changed now, but I mean,
I don't know.
King's Dominion had a volcano.
I still think, in terms of being a destination park, I think Busch Gardens is definitely a destination park. It has
that there's no volcano.
Well, even so, I think most of us we're not only roller coaster enthusiasts, we're theme park and amusement park enthusiasts.
Yeah.
So I think,
I mean, you're right to an extent, but I think we still go, wait, they have like launch coasters like crazy, and that's pretty cool.
Busch is, I don't know. I just think that it's unfair.
I mean, I'm talking like what it used to be.
Yeah, but this is
Things
recent.
Changed,
this is the recent.
Sure.
This is the recent years too, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's the changes are catching up.
All right. So I guess I'm going to start off with that. And also it gets overshadowed by Busch Gardens Tampa a lot. I think it deserves a lot more hype than it gets.
I don't know that they're that big of competitors, though.
No, they're not competitors.
Not competitors,
But
but
people
like,
compare them a lot, and I think people always go, "Oh, Tampa is way better," and it's like I don't see why people think that.
people compare everything to Cedar Point too, but that's not fair.
Yeah, but with Tampa, I mean, you look at the coaster. Look, we can talk about this in there, but you talk about the coaster collection. I mean, they have a dive coaster, they have an invert, they have a launch coaster, they have, what to me, they have Kumba, which is that's kind of Kumba is kind of it. That's the only thing that's kind of unique to Busch Gardens Tampa. Now they're gonna have Iron Gwazi, so that'll be great too. But now we'll have Pantheon, so. I don't see before people are always like Busch Gardens Tampa is such a better park, it has a better coaster collection, it has a better, and I'm like I don't understand. It doesn't have a better coaster collection really. It has like a very similar coaster collection.
I think Pantheon's going to balance it out, but prior to that, I always, I mean, I've not been to Tampa, but I always thought Tampa like seemed to have a better collection.
I mean, but look, I mean, you have a great invert with Alpengeist, you have a great invert with Montu. You have a great dive coaster with Sheikar. You have a great dive coaster with Griffin. You have a great launch coaster with Verbolten. You have a great launch coaster with Cheetah Hunt. They're both family coasters. Cheetah Hunt is Intamin, so people might say like it's could be more intense and it has an inversion. Even though I never understood how Cheetah Hunt can be marketed as a family coaster when it has an inversion like that. It has a Heartline roll, but they market it as a family coaster. I don't know any kids that want to ride a coaster with inversions. It's kind of strange. What?
I think there's a lot more than you think. All you got to do is wait in line for Super Duper Looper.
I wouldn't consider that a family coaster.
Huh?
I don't know if I'd consider that a family coaster. Do they market that as a family coaster?
I don't. Well,
I'm not saying it's like a major thrill coaster, but I would
because like it was built as a thrill coaster, but I mean, now
I'm not saying kids don't ride it. I'm just saying that I just okay. This is good stuff for me to talk about in the podcast.
Yeah, it is.
We'll talk about this.
Why are we talking about this now?
We always do this. We have good discussion before the podcast, and then we get to the podcast, and we're all dried up with stuff to talk about. All right. This week on Park Preview, we're talking about a park that I think gets overshadowed quite a bit with Kings Dominion nearby and also having a sister park in Florida, Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Busch Gardens Williamsburg is by far one of my favorite parks that I've been to. I think it's by far the best park in Virginia, but oftentimes I see people skip out on it when they get up to Kings Dominion and they just keep going. They don't stop at Williamsburg and get on some of the great stuff you have to offer at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. And also, when it's getting compared to Tampa Bay, I see often people kind of cast it aside and they don't think of it as highly as I really think it is. I think once people get there, they start to realize, oh, this is a great park. But people, based on looking at footage or looking at the map or looking at the website, they can't capture how great the park actually is.
I think some of that might actually be the way it started, though. I mean, you think at the beginnings of Busch Gardens, it wasn't really designed for like it was a theme park, but it wasn't really an attraction park like rides and stuff like that. Really wasn't the whole intent of it. So I mean, I think some of that may have something to do with it. Like Kings Dominion was built as a theme park, and it was built to copy Kings Island, which was a thrill park. Maybe I don't know. I use the term thrill relatively, for the time period, but like, it's just kind of like I don't know. That was kind of always the mentality.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Busch Gardens it really is a theme park. That was the whole, when they opened up, it was called the Old Country. And it opened Tampa opened in 1969, but at the same time Tampa was opening, Anheuser-Busch was buying land in Williamsburg, and it was only 5 years later in 1970. Well, I guess 5.5. We'll go 5.5. In 1975, that's when Busch Gardens opened.
Yep.
And it's interesting. I just learned this tonight. I think you just learned this too, that whenever they opened, whenever they bought the land, they weren't allowed to do any early American themes because they were afraid it would take away from Colonial Williamsburg.
Yeah, that is really interesting.
Kind of an interesting fact.
It's really interesting to me because you think of and I think of like, what about New France? I think they kind of that's probably why that's called New France, and not like something like an American theme. They just called it New France because that kind of has like an older, 1800s feel to it. It's like it's like a Canadian settlement kind of. So it kind of does have a settlement feel to it, but it's technically not part of America. It's not an early American theme. It's Canadian because New France is supposed to be like a Canadian. So I kind of like how they now reading that and looking at Busch Gardens, it makes a lot more sense why they called it that.
So wait, so France, it was New France?
There's New France now with that area with like Invader and
Oh yeah, okay.
that is like that has a very settlement feel to it. But I'm sure they didn't straight out call it
Well,
American settlement.
I mean, there's a lot of Viking theme there.
Well, that now with Invader there is, but before it was always like, and that's why I was confused with Invader's theme because Invader is Vikings, and then the whole area was always themed to like New France is like the Canadian settlements, and I was like, how do Vikings correlate with that? But then they said
Vikings weren't Vikings a Canadian thing?
No, and then they say
Like
in the
Nova
story,
Scotia?
the story goes that the Vikings came in and were like fighting with the new Canadian settlers, so that's how they kind of played out that story with
Okay,
Invader.
so Invader took over the area.
Well, yeah, but before that, even so, and even continuing with the theme now, yeah, it's like a Canadian settlement. So I like how
Vikings won is what we're saying here.
So early American, I guess, is just that they couldn't straight out call it an American. They couldn't theme it to like Colonial Williamsburg or anything like that because that would take away from the tourism. But they did kind of throw in the New France section. So yes, Busch Gardens Williamsburg opened in 1975 and opened with the following countries: England, Scotland, France, and Germany. And then they would expand from then on with the new countries that we have now. But I think it gets overshadowed, and I think why is because I think many of us are theme park enthusiasts at heart. A lot of us, that's how we got involved in this, is that we grew up going to parks and we liked the park aspect. A lot of us were scared. I know majority of enthusiasts, you were always originally scared of roller coasters at first, and then you get on them and then you love them.
Yeah.
That's how everyone's story goes, it seems. Not everyone's, but most people's stories I hear are, I was 5, I would go to parks and I was scared to death of them. I loved the park, but I didn't want to ride any of the roller coasters. Then I started riding the roller coasters, and then I loved the roller coasters, so I kept going back and back and back. I think many of us are truly theme park enthusiasts at heart and don't realize it. So I think, when you go to these parks, you don't really think about that, but the atmosphere really does add a whole nother level. And I think Busch Gardens Williamsburg has one of the best atmospheres in the entire theme park industry.
There's no doubt about that.
So I think when people get to this park, actually, your mind gets blown and you really realize how great of a park it is. Until you get there, I don't think people truly understand how great of a park it is in that aspect. Yes, the coaster collection isn't superb. It's not bad. I think people often say it's bad, but I think we have a lot of filler coasters, but together, collectively as a group, they make up a good collection. Yeah, by themselves, Apollo's Chariot's not the best coaster, Verbolten's not the best coaster, Griffin's not the best coaster, Alpengeist isn't the best coaster by themselves, but collectively as a group, I think that's one of the best coaster collections out there, honestly. I don't know. And also, along with the theming, it's also voted one of the most beautiful parks in the world, landscaping-wise. So even disregard the theming, there's plenty of flowers and trees and shrubbery around the park. So, I just think it gets overlooked quite a bit. And I think once people get there, they realize.
Bring me a shrubbery. Sorry, that just popped in my head.
Yeah.
The thing with the rides, I was one of those people that King's Dominion was kicking Busch Gardens' butt. And then, another factor with Busch Gardens for me was the price. It was always just so expensive to go there. And I think the thing is it's not so much it was expensive. It was just okay, it's expensive, but what are they doing with the money? Now I feel like the higher prices are worth it because you see them actively developing. Also now King's Dominion just kind of just neutered themselves and they're just not worth what they used to be. Right now I'd have to agree with you, Busch Gardens. And Busch Gardens has been adding those coasters too.
Yeah, see, I've always been a strong advocate for Busch, though. I've always been the one that...
I know. We used to have that argument, but now I have to agree with you.
I always thought that... I didn't understand. King's Dominion always had a good top two. You always had Twisted Timbers and I-305, and before that you had I-305 and Volcano. But then other than that, I was always like, what is this great coaster collection everyone's talking about? I mean, it doesn't add up for me. Flight of Fear is not that great. It's a fun ride. It's not, but it's nothing better than Verbolten or better than, anything a Busch. Backlot Stunt Coaster, Anaconda, Rebel Yell, Grizzly. I mean, Grizzly's a good night ride, but I mean, I never understood what like Dominator's all right. I never understood where like everyone was.
Racer 75 is pretty incredible.
It's all right. It's all right.
It's a little more than all right. Yeah,
it's all right. It's all right.
I really like it. I like it quite a bit, actually.
I'm not a huge fan of it. I
mean, but see,
that was my first roller coaster, so I mean, it has a lot of nostalgia there. But I just, in terms of roller coasters, I don't think it's the greatest.
I remember the transitioning though. I mean, you also had a little bit before my time in Virginia, you had XLC. I didn't get to ride that. But there was also Shockwave. I mean, Shockwave was I thought Shockwave was a big deal.
Shockwave was an okay ride, though. I mean, I rode it.
I mean, yeah. I loved King Cobra at Kings Island. I really liked Togo's stand-ups. They were just a really unique ride, and I just really enjoyed them. But I mean, Busch Gardens has come around, and they've slowly been filling in as Kings Dominion has been like erasing things.
I just collectively as a park think that Busch has always been better. I definitely used to agree that Kings Dominion's collection was better. Now it's not at all. I think Busch with Pantheon is definitely gonna be the better collection. I used to think Kings Dominion's collection was, you could make an argument for it being better, but now definitely not. And even back then, I always thought Busch Gardens, I mean, in terms of atmosphere, in terms of employee service, customer service, and the employees, they were always kinder, and they always had a great staff there. They always had better food, I always thought. I know at some point you used to argue with me that Kings Dominion had better food. I never, ever...
No, I never said better. I said on par.
Yeah, that was never the case, ever. Busch Gardens has always had a great selection of like different and unique food options that no other theme park has offered. Since they have so many different European countries, they'll do different like themes from around those countries, which is awesome. But I don't know. I've always felt that the park got highly overlooked, and now it seems to be getting a little more respect. And hopefully, once we develop whatever we're developing in 2021 as well, if that's a Giga or whatever it is, I mean, I think this could easily become people's bucket list park. Busch Gardens Williamsburg has been overshadowed for so long, and I think it's finally starting to build itself up to the point where people are going to start going, holy crap, we've been missing. And then they're going to get there and be like, holy crap, this park's always been great. Why did I not get here sooner? I think that's what's going to start happening. People are going to start realizing this is a beautiful park. It has a great atmosphere. It has fantastic theming. It has Alpengeist, a great invert, Griffin, a great B&M dive, Apollo Straight, a great hyper. And oh wait, there's Pantheon and Giga now too. I mean, it's going to be crazy. And I think it's finally starting to make a name for itself, which is awesome. It's always been, highlighted as a good park, but I think it's going to finally get, it's going to become what some people consider a great park. And I think it's always been that, but I think it's going to start getting the recognition that it deserves.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think that, I think the focus has always been on theme, and now they're realizing we need theme and thrill, and then you just have the unbeatable combination.
And we even have an awesome, we're getting somewhat awesome flat ride. I mean, we've always had some good flat rides. We've had Da Vinci's Cradle and the Flying Machine and those like flat rides. We have Finnegan's Flyer now, Mock Tower, which is an all right drop tower. Not terrible, but some people say it's awful. It's not a terrible drop tower. It's not the best, but it's fun.
A drop tower drops you.
Yeah, I know. I hear people talk about how bad it is. Though I've watched multiple people talk about how awful it is, and I'm like, yeah, it's not. The restraints aren't comfortable. It's not like the greatest drop, but I mean, it's still it still gives you that feeling of dropping.
I honest to God, the first time I rode it, I thought, holy crap, why do they still have this old ride? I honestly thought, I was like, this is like something from this has to be like one of the first drop towers after the first gen Intamin Demon Drop style. It was so clanky and
it vibrates.
And then I learned it was built in when was it built? 2008?
No, 2009, I think.
Oh my God! I just don't that. Just doesn't gel in my head.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't make any sense.
It seems so old.
It does. It feels a lot old, and it shakes when you're going up, and then it shakes and vibrates when you're going down. It's kind of funny. But it's not a terrible drop tower by any means. I don't think it's that
No, I
bad.
mean it does its job. It takes you up and it drops you. Like it's not.
Exactly. So the history of this park, though, is that it opened in 1975. It was originally going to be just like a small park next to the Anheuser Busch plant where they made all the beer. And then it kind of expanded on that. I mean, it opened up in they bought the land in 1969, and then 75 they actually opened the whole park, and they opened it up with, again, I said England, Scotland, France, and Germany. And so yeah, I mean, and then it started slowly built to the park that we know today. Loch Ness Monster would soon open later in 1978, which is still a great ride. I mean, can we talk about how great that thing runs for being that old? You know, Anaconda opened in like the 90s, and Anaconda feels like the far older attraction out of those two. I don't know what maintenance they've given to Loch Ness Monster, but it runs perfectly and amazingly, and it feels like a brand new coaster. I love it.
I think the problem is Arrow got too ambitious without changing their technology. Drachenfire was actually a good example of that. Like, let's they always had the same cookie cutter elements of the same size, and like they couldn't engineer like, oh, this is going to be going faster, so let's make the loop bigger. I mean, well, still Phantom was a great thing there. Like, hey, let's build a hypercoaster, but let's put the same loop that every other Arrow looper had. Not a good idea.
Yeah.
Doesn't work that well.
Yeah, that is true. But I mean, Loch Ness runs so great. I love that. That's such a great ride. That really highlights that, and Tennessee Tornado really highlight Arrow's greatness. And a lot of people give them bad rap, but I mean, if you ride those two rides, you really realize how great Arrow really was. Big Bad Wolf opened in 1984, and man, do I miss that ride so much. That was such a great attraction.
I never got to ride it.
I rode it like once or twice, I remember, right before it closed. So that was,
However,
I got very lucky.
I will tell you this. That whole scenario created my niece and nephew's favorite story that I have to tell them all the time. Because the first time I went to Busch Gardens, I was there so excited to ride Big Bad Wolf. And I was walking around trying to find this freaking coaster, and I couldn't find it. And I'm walking because there are people that we know who argue with me. Busch Gardens is a confusing park at first. No. I don't care if you say it's a circle or not.
It is a circle.
I get that. It doesn't seem like a circle. But anyway, that aside, I happened to walk by this coaster called Verbolten, and I got on it and I rode it, and I was like, wow, that is great. Thank God I knew nothing about it, because holy crap, that was so much fun not knowing anything about what went on in that ride.
Yep.
I got off, and I continued walking around trying to find Big Bad Wolf. I eventually went to a map and couldn't find it. And that's when I said, I better do some searching on the internet.
Which is essential. Which is a very essential.
And then,
imagine if you didn't have that.
Well, no. It wasn't very fast back then, so I stood in the middle of the park going, what's going on? What's going on, guys? Wait, what? Verbolten replaced it? No.
And now that is one of your favorite rides, so.
I love Verbolten. I absolutely do.
I really wish they had figured a way to not remove Big Bad Wolf and then also get Verbolten somewhere else in the park, because I loved Big Bad Wolf. That was such a good ride. I love suspended coasters. So that it really sucks that great ride got taken out. So yeah, then 1997 Apollo's Chariot opened, which is one of my favorite B&M inverts, and B&M hypercoasters, and one of Bob's as well. And then Alpengeist opened in 1997, which is one of my favorite B&M inverts, and not one of Bob's favorite B&M inverts.
It's an invert.
I think it's if you ride it in the back row, it is so intense. It's so good. I love it.
If I ride in the back row, that'll be the last ride of the day. I'm not saying it's not fun. It's a blast. I don't do well on it. I can ride it in the front seat.
Yeah.
Maybe second seat. But.
And if you're the thrill seeker, you ride in the very back, and you get your legs feel
It
like
has nothing to do with thrill. It has to do with I don't want to
losing
have a pounding headache.
losing circulation in your legs. So
I don't care about that.
I did not realize this, and this is that Ireland only opened in 2001. So Ireland is a part of the park that now houses Battle for Ire and Finnegan's Flyer, which is the SNS free Scream and Swearing. I did not realize that it's only open. It's only been 19. Now it's been 19 years, but it's still 2001. I always thought that area of the park just seems a lot older than that, and I did not realize that. So that's something through this podcast I've learned, that Ireland of Busch Gardens opened in 2001.
Yeah, and you think like most parks that's the one thing that if you look through Busch Gardens timeline here, they kept adding new areas.
Yeah.
A lot of parks they don't tack it on like that. Like, like, oh, we're opening this brand new area. It's like they retheme a section of the park.
Yeah.
And
Or they add a ride in
there.
that area, and then they add another ride, and then they add another ride, and then it just becomes another area. It never is like, here's a whole new area of a park. Yeah.
That's what kind of makes me think that Project Madrid actually might have been another themed area.
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely something they would do.
Yeah, I mean, we'll never know that for sure, but
yeah. In 2005, Curse of Dark Castle, which is one of the best dark rides of all time, in my opinion, opened up at Busch Gardens. And the thing that really sucks about that is that they kept the building up, so it really throws everyone off now. It's like, why is there like this weird medieval castle in this German area of the park if it's not actually a ride or anything? I'm not a huge fan of keeping it up. I think you either keep it open and you keep it running, or you just tear it down completely. You don't keep it up like how they're doing now to use it as event space. I think of all the decisions Busch Gardens has made in the past recent years, I think that's one of the worst they've done it in terms of keeping that building open. And what do they call it now? They call it like Newcastle or something dumb like that.
Yeah, I think it's used for like events and stuff. Like,
yeah, they do, but it's just strange. I don't like it. And they use it for like special events, and they use it for, like if they have, tours or something like that, they'll like house it. And they also use it for like Christmas Town, for like Santa's workshop, and like a haunted house during Halloween. I think that's a poor use of space. I think you could use it a lot better. I don't know. And I think it just looks strange during the summer to be walking around this German area of the park, and then there's just weird medieval castle sitting there that's not actually, it doesn't serve a purpose. It's not a ride. It's not a food place. It's not a shop area. It's just oh nope, it's not open to the public. Newcastle, but it's nothing. It's just strange for me. It's one decision I'm not a huge fan of with Busch Gardens. I will defend Busch Gardens on many different things, but that is one thing that I strongly am upset about with that. In 2007, they opened up Griffon, which is the B&M dive coaster, which is a pretty good dive coaster. It was the first floorless dive coaster. And that's something. It's a good ride. I'm not a huge fan of dive coasters. I think they're all right, but every once in a while, a good ride on Griffon, it'll really get you going. Definitely, if you sit in the back and if you get a good ride on that thing, in the back, that drop will feel exceptional. Sometimes I get rides on it where kind of the drop does completely nothing for me, and I'm like, yeah, that was kind of a waste of 20-minute wait or whatever. But sometimes you get on that and you get pull over the drop, and it feels crazy. So it's definitely a good ride every once in a while.
All of their, I think that's the interesting thing is like every single one of their coasters is like there's one thing that you can say about every single one of them that's like that's awesome. Even if you don't really like the coaster, there's like
There is not a bad coaster at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. I think that's a fair statement to be made.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And I think that's something that not other people realize either.
Even Grover's whatever it's called is actually fairly fun.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, to get the credit. I mean, and again, it's themed pretty well over there. So even if you don't love riding the kiddie coasters, I mean, you actually have a pretty well themed kids area, and it's actually pretty beautiful in terms of they have landscaping and stuff over there as well. So I mean, yes, I would agree with that. But I mean, looking at all their coasters, Griffon is a good dive coaster. Loch Ness Monster is a great aero looper. Apollo Strait is a good B&M hypercoaster, great B&M hypercoaster. Verbolten is a great launch coaster. Alpengeist is a great B&M invert. And Tempesto, not a huge fan of it, but it's still a good premier ride. Skyrocket too. it's not a ride that I go out of my way to ride oftentimes. But if other people want to ride it, I am not obliged to ride in Tempesto at all. So I think that's something that's not talked about nearly enough. It's just that they have
Tempesto actually is. It's a coaster that actually gives me butterflies more frequently than a lot of coasters.
I mean, yeah, the launch is actually pretty good. I actually.
It's not the launch. It's the upright like stall and drift back. It's the rollback basically.
Okay, yeah. That
I
makes
think
sense.
that just always gets me for some reason. I love it.
Yeah, it is, and then like that I mean, obviously for all Skyrocket 2s this will apply, but the Heartline roll at the top is actually very intense as well. So it's a good
Yeah,
ride.
I
I'm
think
not a
that's
huge.
a lot of
If they
fun.
didn't have the comfort collars, I think it would be a great ride. But the comfort collars really
The comfort colors have not, to me it does
they
nothing. It
ruin that
doesn't change
ride.
the ride experience.
They ruin that ride so bad,
I
so bad.
know.
I've ridden
I
them.
think
I've
they're a
ridden the
pain
ones
in the
without
butt.
them. The ones without the comfort collars are much better.
Now, I think they're a pain in the butt, but I don't think they affect the ride.
I think they do. I think they're really bad. They remind me a lot of Skyrush, which also you disagree with. So, moving on. So yes, Busch Gardens Williamsburg opened up Griffin, and then later on they would open up Rebolton in 2012. Mock Tower I think opened in 2009 or 2010. Not 100% sure about that opening date. Tempesto would open up in 2016. Invader would open up in 2017, and then we're speeding up to 2020. Pantheon will open this year. So
We hope.
look at the history of Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Well, yeah, it's going to open. Whether or not the public gets to ride it or not is going to be a different story. But yes, Busch Gardens Williamsburg is a great park. It has such a great history in the Virginia area. This is where Ace started. So a lot of you guys listening on the West Coast or in Texas or wherever you're listening to this podcast, Ace, the coaster community got it started at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. So that first Coaster Con was held here. So this is a pretty historical park, whether you look at it in terms of industry standards or you look at it in coach enthusiast standards. Ace started here, and then there's also so many other things that have occurred at this park over the years. Loch Ness Monsters, a historical ride. It was the tallest roller coaster in the world when it opened. So there's just so many different awesome things that have happened at this park and that have occurred here. So any way you look at it, this is a great park. It's a fun park. It's a park that you need to check out. And I am glad to say it is my home park, and I know I would expect Bob to be as well.
Yeah, it's definitely my home park is a very tough thing for me now.
Yeah. Where is your home park actually? It's one of your home parks
Yeah,
in a sense.
it's close.
Yeah.
I mean, the two closest parks to me is like Six Flags America and Cane's Dominion. So I think my home park, where I used to always say Cane's Dominion, is now Six Flags America. Oh my god! I'm saying it's Six Flags Park. I think is my home park. But it's crazy too because Hershey Park is like the same distance as Busch Gardens for me.
Yeah, well, in a sense, I consider this park, like I consider Kings Dominion and Busch Gardens both my home parks. I live 45 an hour from both of those parks. Well, Kings Dominion's only 20 minutes, but Busch Gardens is only 45 minutes away. I would even consider somewhat relatively Six Flags America my home park because that's still only 2 hours away. So yeah, but whether or not whatever you consider your home park, it's a great park. It's a park I think definitely necessary to visit. If you come by in Virginia and you don't go to Busch Gardens Williamsburg, you're really missing out on a great, especially now with Pantheon. You're missing out. So this is a park you got to check out. And I think it's made to be said. This is a 2-day park. I know people will go, oh, it only has 7 coasters or whatever. But really, if you want to fully experience, if you're truly trying to get a good feel for a park, if you're trying to see the shows, you're trying to get on different types of like the flat rides and all that, and ride the coasters, and experience the food options and explore the different tours and the different animal exhibits and stuff like that. This is really a 2-day park, I think. If you're just trying to ride the coasters, obviously you can pretty much do any park in the world in one day in terms of coasters if you get the fast pass and just hit all the coasters. But if you're trying to explore Busch Gardens Williamsburg and actually get a good feel for the park, I think this is definitely necessary this could easily be a 2-day park.
Yeah, and the shows aren't to be missed either.
No.
They're amazing shows.
They're amazing. And depending on what you're there, during Halloween they have great shows. During the summer they have great shows. During Christmas time they have great shows. I know Celtic Fire is often said to be one of the best theme park shows out there. I mean, I've heard it in the USA Today. It said it's in like the top 10. I know they have great Halloween shows. They sound like got rid of Fiends this year, or last year actually, which I was actually meaning to talk to Kevin, the park president, about. I don't know how you get rid of that show. That was one of the best and most popular shows at the park. I remember, I mean, it would get huge lines before the showing. It would be packed house every time I went to go see that show. But yeah, that's a show. And then if you go during Christmas time, they have Gloria, which is a great show. They have like an orchestra set up, and then they just kind of they replay the nativity. I mean, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. And then they also have like an ice skating show with like a world-renowned ice skater. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's like, you know, an Olympic ice skater. I mean, what kind of park? I mean, this is an entertainment park. It has a lot of great entertainment. So yes, it has coasters, but in terms of overall park, it is something you got to check out. And I think it's definitely a necessary 2-day park if you're really, again, trying to get a good feel for the park. So Busch Gardens Williamsburg is a great park. Definitely something you could check out. Definitely something you do not miss out on when you're coming to Virginia. So if you're looking at doing Kings Dominion, you only have 2 days in Virginia, you're looking at doing Kings Dominion, I would subtract a day, if you're trying to do 2 days of Kings Dominion, subtract a day from Kings Dominion, and at least do 1 day at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, because it is well worth it. I know Bob was saying the prices are sometimes high, but especially now with Pantheon, and I mean, if you come in 2021 with the Giga, we're going to have a great coaster collection, and we're going to have a great park. So definitely something to check out, and definitely a great park.
One little asterisk I will give you, and this is based on, I remember you saying I'm the only coaster enthusiast that like actually knows height requirements of rides. I will say this: if you have a kid that is outside of Kiddieland, wants to ride thrill rides but is less than 46 inches, you might want to go to Kings Dominion. That's the only asterisk I will give you. Because
I don't think we have too
Invader is a 46-inch ride. Everything else is at least 48 or 54 inches.
I don't think we have too many parents, and I don't think
probably not. But I always like to give that little asterisk
just in case.
It's a big deal. Maybe there may be others like me that have nieces and nephews. So
Hey, and maybe now we've said that, maybe one listener out there is like, holy crap, that's saving me so much time. I was actually going to go there and ride with my nieces and nephews, and now I can't. I love this podcast. I'm going to share it with all my friends. This is going to be a hit. All right. So hopefully any bit of information can help. So yes, Busch Gardens Windsor is a great park. We're going to move on now to Coaster Craze, and we're going to do something a little different, Bob. Something we've never done before. Something fun, though. Let's do that on the segment we call Coaster Craze. Right at 30 minutes. That's kind of crazy.
All right.
Actually, no.
All right. So
35 minutes.
Do you want to take turns pulling a random link and then pasting to the other person?
Yeah. I don't know how we're going to do that. I got Dragon at La Ronde again.
Wait, stop. Don't do it until we're live. Until we're recording.
I know. I just went to the website so I could get ready.
What's that?
I just went to the website to see when we get ready.
Oh yeah, I guess yeah.
All right. All right, you ready?
All right, yeah. So I will pull. Wait, let me drag.
I'll do it first since I'll be introducing it, and then we'll talk about that. And then
what's that?
I'll do it first since I'm going to be introducing it.
Okay. As soon as you do that, though, make sure you paste the link to me so I can pull it up right away too.
Or I can just say the name of it, and you can just look it up on RCDB.
Oh, that would take me it would take a while.
Okay. Especially if it's like in German or something.
Especially if you get something like.
Or if I get something like Jampompakuko in the park in Africa.
Yeah. I don't even have those keys on my keyboard.
All right, here we go. Due to the lack of coaster-related content right now, there's nothing going on in the industry. There's no news. There's no interesting polls to be doing. It's not like anyone's been riding any new coasters or anything like that. We figured we'd do something that we'd never done before, something fun. RCDB has this thing where when you go to them, when you go to their website, they pull up a random roller coaster, and you can click on it and look at it if you want. Normally, people kind of skip that and just go to the roller coaster that they were trying to initially search for, but we thought today would be a good time to just explore the random roller coasters of RCDB And so we're going to pull up RCDB. We're going to, refresh the page, and we're going to see the random roller coasters that we get. And we're just going to talk about them. It might be a comic relief. It might be like a small family coaster in Africa or something. Or, it could be, B&M Giga, Fury 325 at Carowinds. We don't know. That's the randomness about it. So it truly is coaster crazy this week because we have no idea what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah. This should be interesting.
So I'm gonna go first, and I'm just gonna refresh. I'm gonna refresh my page here, and we're just gonna kind of dive on in. This is gonna be weird. It's gonna be unusual, but it's gonna be fun, hopefully. So the first coaster I got, here we go. We have Alpine Coaster, and in the Netherlands. So this is at Snow World in the Netherlands. This is just another like Alpine coaster at any different like amusement park, like the ones in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, or at Gatlinburg, Tennessee. It's just like a mountain coaster. It's pretty long. There's not really much stats to it. It's a cable lift. It looks pretty fun. The length is 1,804 feet. I think in terms of mountain coasters, I'm pretty sure that's pretty long. I don't know how long the other ones are. That seems like a lot.
What is this? What is it? Oh, it's a playground.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
There's a picture that's like just wood. It looks like literally like somebody was just like.
Oh no, it's
like
not a it's not a playground.
Wood together.
It's not a playground. It's one of those obstacle courses that you can do. That's really cool.
Oh yeah, okay. Is there even a Oh yeah, they're on a harness. Like how would you like to be like racing down the mountain and all of a sudden see somebody fall off of this thing and break their neck?
So this is at Snow World, which I guess this looks like just like some sort of resort or like small park.
Well, that's probably ski areas. I think most alpine coasters, except for ones in Pigeon Forge, most are like actually at ski.
It just says Snow World Outdoor Park, so I guess it's just like an outdoor.
Well, it is outdoors. We can learn that from the picture. It is outdoors.
It is an outdoor place.
It's not like American Dream. It is not enclosed.
This is a weird ride though. Look how it's built. It's like built on pavement here. Like it doesn't actually go up the side of a mountain. Like on the very last picture on RCDB, it shows it is it's like built up on pavement. It's kind of strange.
Yeah, what is that? Like looks like some kind of court or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's weird.
Hopscotch. it's like the Jolly Green Giants hopscotch.
This is a weird ride. I would love maybe something to check out one day. This is weird. I like mountain coasters, so.
I do too. I think they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, they are.
Especially if you don't get stuck behind somebody.
Yeah.
All right. So, my turn. And we've got
drum roll, please.
Han-Katan.
Oh boy.
It is a Gerstlauer spinning coaster.
Gerstlauer spinning coaster.
And the first picture looks like people are like in line to.
What the heck is that thing on? It's like a
I don't
demon.
know.
It's like a demon cat. There's like a demon cat on top. Is this an indoor ride?
I don't know. I can't.
Oh no, it's not an indoor ride. It's not. It's outdoor. Okay, but you wait. Looks like you go into some sort of facade before you get into the ride, and it looks like a demon cat with like a beret on is like wants to kill you.
It is a beret. I didn't realize that it is literally wearing and its claws are out and it's like
smiling. It looks like, yes, I'm gonna get to kill you. You come inside of my hut here, and I'm gonna kill you when you come inside. What is? I want to figure out what Han-Katan translates to. Does this mean like the cat is happy is going to kill you, or what is this translating to? What language is this? Like Dutch? Okay. I need to figure this out. Han-Katan, Norwegian. It turns it into he cat. He cat, like he's a cat.
He cat. Wait, Felix is on the side. Felix? That does not look like Felix.
Han cats. I don't even know what that is. He cats. Okay, so maybe it's a male cat. Maybe it's themed to a male cat.
I mean, yeah. We could glean that from.
Yep, from the picture, from the weird demon cat. Looks like he wants to kill you. I can't tell what he's like leaning over. Like, what is this facade of? It looks like it's like some sort of like maybe like an air conditioning or something. I can't tell exactly what.
No, it's the station. That's so weird.
It's the station, yes, but like it looks like the station's supposed to be themed to like some sort of like device. Like the cat's over top of this device here. I can't tell. Looks like
Is that supposed to be a grill from a truck?
yeah, or like a
Maybe?
radio. Or I don't. I can't tell. It looks very strange.
Oh, it's a cat carrier. No,
But this is. I'm sure this is like a pandemonium clone of some sort. It looks
yeah.
very
Well, it looks similar to Laugh Track.
laugh track something of those the
Yeah.
pandemoniums at Six Flags parks. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Let's move on though. All right, so this is weird for me. I got Ochtbahn at Spielpark Oud Valken in the Netherlands. Why do we keep getting Dutch and Dutch parks?
I don't know. Like
Are we on some sort of algorithm? Maybe RCDB does something weird for each park that they do. Oops. So yeah, this is strange. We keep getting we keep getting
Oxbon. Is that?
Ochtbahn.
That's that feels like.
And
It feels
again,
like a
what is it
term.
with the Dutch and this weird coaster designs?
is-
What is on front of this train?
What the hell is that?
What is this? It looks like I don't even know what that I don't know. I don't even know what to describe that is. This is a Big Apple like Wacky Worm coaster. There's no other stats to it, but I mean the front of this train looks like a male genitalia, in my opinion. That is the best way to describe this.
It's either that or like a turd.
Yeah, it looks like
It's Mr. Hanky.
oh my gosh. What the Dutch have some weird themed rides. I always thought like the Chinese and like the Asian parks were the ones that had like weird like themed attractions, but it looks like the Dutch might take it from them single-handedly.
And I think with the spelling and stuff, we're gonna give you the RCDB ID for this is 7686. So if you want to look it up, 7686. There's like a random mushroom where I guess is that supposed to be the control stand?
Octobahn literally translates to roller coaster. So I don't know what the heck that is on the front of the train. How does that at all a roller coaster? Like that doesn't make any sense. This roller coaster is called roller coaster, but it has mushrooms and flowers around, and then it looks like a turd or a male genitalia on the front of the train. that is strange.
Strange. Wait, there's a bear. There's a bear too.
All right, so whoever designed this was probably smoking some sort of mushroom.
I think they got discounts on theming. Like,
Yeah.
How do we make all this fit together?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That's a weird one. All right.
Yeah, very
Let's
strange.
see. Can we get? Oh, here's the randomness.
Okay.
We already talked about this awesome coaster called Grover's Alpine Express.
Yay!
At Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, in Williamsburg, Virginia. Manufactured by one of my favorite coaster manufacturers, Zero.
Yeah, this is a great little family coaster. I mean, you really unlike the other one, this makes unlike Octobahn or whatever. This actually has a sensible theme to it. It's themed to Grover from Sesame Street, and
well, who knows? Maybe Mr. Hanky's like the kids' theme over.
I don't know. But yeah, okay.
I'm kidding.
Okay. Grover's Alpine Express is themed to Grover taking an adventure in the wilderness, in the alpine wilderness. So he's going through. There's actually somewhat theming. You're kind of walking through his adventure, and they have like these snow-covered trees, evergreen trees. And yeah, it's Grover's actually sitting on the very front of the train. It's an interesting ride, and it's actually, like Bob said earlier, it's actually a pretty fun family coaster or kid coaster. The drop actually, I will say, actually provides somewhat of airtime. I'm not going to obviously say it's airtime to the extreme of anything like, B&M Hyper or anything like that extent, but I mean, it's a fun little ride, definitely, for what it is.
It is a fun ride.
All right, so let's move on to the next random roller coaster here on Roller Coaster Database. I got a ride that both of us have ridden. I got Superman Ride of Steel at Six Flags America, which is a great intimate hypercoaster located in Upper Malibu, Maryland. This is obviously Busch Gardens is my home park, and Kings Dominion are my home parks. Bob just stated that this is now officially his home park again. This is a great intimate hypercoaster with some very good airtime moments. It's very, very good. It has the T-bars on it that everyone loves. You get some very good airtime on it. It's pretty
And
long.
the fun thing about standing in line, this is the only roller coaster that I've stood in line that the line has moved backwards.
How so?
It's Six Flags America. There's line jumping galore. And
Oh,
that is
okay.
not an exaggeration.
Oh,
There were
yes.
so many people line jumping in front
I'm
of
sure.
me that I moved
I'm
backwards.
lucky. I got there on a day that wasn't crowded, but I still, the clientele was still not great in terms of how they were acting, and I didn't even like the staff there was completely. They were all complete jerks as well. But this ride was great.
Eh,
So it's a pretty long ride. It goes 5,350 feet out there. It's 200 feet tall. Goes 73 miles an
it goes
hour.
very straight.
Yeah, there are some straight sections to it, but actually,
But
a lot of people
I kind
complain
of
about the
like the
straight
straight.
sections. I kind of like them. Yeah, they're pretty fun. They kind of show. It feels like you're Superman flying around. You're flying straight out. It kind of. I mean, in a sense, makes sense. I know a lot of people complain about the straight track, but I think that in some ways, it's not a bad thing at all. It's a beautiful ride too. It really does look great in the skyline. I love these Intamin coasters. It's very reminiscent of like Millennium Force Cedar Point. If you
And
haven't,
very often from the exit ramp, you can look out over Batwing broken down.
or on the ride, yeah, when you're hitting on the hill, you can just look over and be like, oh, there's a ride that I should be riding, but I'm not. Again, I was fortunate enough to go to Six Flags America when everything was operational and it was pretty dead. So I probably got a pretty
Yeah.
better
Well,
experience than most
generally,
people.
I'll tell you, the staff there, the maintenance crew there, they get things up and running. Batwing actually, you have a good shot of riding it. I mean, even though it is a mechanical nightmare, they do keep it running quite more than you'd expect. All
Yep.
right. So yeah, it this is Grand Canyon,
hmm
um, and it's in France.
Okay.
ID 1805.
Oh, all right.
It is made. I can't. I can't pronounce anything.
So Quet.
So quit. I've
It's
never
probably
heard that
French and it's
company.
probably like Soquet or something weird like that. Like it probably has a weird accent in terms of
The
how you pronounce
track
it in French.
is so weird.
I want to see what other
It's
roller
like
coasters these people have built though. I'm gonna look at that real quick because
so. This
they've built
track looks like
37 other coasters.
literally they like took the Intamin double spine and adapted it to be like Arrow. This one is bizarre.
It looks like they just build kiddie coasters. This corporation. They must be like
This
the
track
kiddie.
is so weird.
Yeah, they all look the same. It does. It looks very. It looks like B&M almost, but like
No, I don't know. No, it like I don't know. It looks like maybe they took like half of Max track and like decided, yeah, we don't need these cross ties at the top, so we're just gonna not put them there.
it looks like they clone these rides and make just a lot of like little kiddie coasters. It looks like.
And it's kind of interesting. Like they call it Grand Canyon, but it looks like a mine. Like I
Yeah,
don't understand. I don't understand the theme at all.
they're obviously going for Grand
And
Canyon
there's
in this
literally
case.
coal in the front of the train. There's literally
Yeah,
coal.
maybe they're trying to.
Like
Maybe they don't understand that. Just because it's Western doesn't mean that it has coal in it.
I don't know.
They're
Yeah.
definitely trying to go
This
for
is
like a generic American theme, and they kind of failed on that.
there's
They
an
could have named this like Mine
entrance.
Shaft or something like that. I'm confused why Grand Canyon was the choice.
This thing has some pretty crazy banks on it though. Wow. All right, give us another one here, James. No
All right,
whammies. Give us a good one.
let's move on. Yeah, I know. Let's not get these weird. We're getting some weird coasters, but that's part of the fun. It's part of the fun. All right, I got Flyover Mediterranean at Happy Valley in Jianhu, Shihan, China. All right, all right.
Is that exactly how that's pronounced?
Definitely not. Definitely not. I think this is an Intamin Megalite clone. So I mean, it is definitely it's an Intamin, but it looks like a
Oh, it
Megalite.
isn't intimate.
It's a Megalite. It looks like.
All right, so we got. I mean, it's an intimate, so it's obviously fun.
It's obviously a
Oh,
good ride. Yeah,
there's like no theming to make fun of here.
I know. What are you doing,
This
Chinese
is like
guys?
Six Flags level theming.
I know. There's nothing to make fun of or to point out That's bad. It actually looks like a pretty great ride.
I actually want to ride it.
Well, I don't know. What are we going for? Okay, it's called Fly Over the Mediterranean. The front of the train looks like it has soldiers on it, though. Like,
Yeah,
like,
what?
like,
Wait, what?
like they're going to fight in the war. Look on the very front of the train. I don't know if
Where?
maybe they're calling Flight Over the.
Oh, wait. So they added that. That's added because some of the pictures don't have that.
Yeah, I don't know, or maybe it's older and maybe it got changed names and now it's not.
No,
called
because that picture was taken in 2018.
Okay. Yeah, it was. I see that now.
And
By Bob.
yeah,
Bob, you
the
took
other
this
pictures
photo.
were taken too.
It says Bob took this photo. It
What?
says Bob down the corner. It says Bob is the guy that
Yeah,
took this photo.
not me. Haven't been there.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. This one isn't any fun. You can't
yeah.
make fun of Intamin.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like a very solid ride, though. So this is, again, Fly Over the Mediterranean at Happy Valley in China. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this, the cities it's located in, again. All right, let's move on, Bob.
All right. Here's. Well, this one's interesting. The ID is 9054. Monta Russa alla Delta.
Montagna
Parkway
Russa. It's Montagna Russa, Bob.
Something.
It's
It's in Mexico.
Yeah. It's
It's
Montagna
named but not
Russa. You got to pronounce it correct, though.
Okay. Correct. It is an inverted coaster.
Whoa.
What?
Who designed this?
This
looks like- This looks like it was built homemade or in-house or something.
I think somebody took a bunch of clotheslines
Yeah.
and
What the-
they said,
oh.
wait, if we take some of the clotheslines and put them straight up and down and the other ones attached to the top, we can hang a roller coaster.
Looks like they have pads underneath the coaster in case someone falls out.
God. Look at those restraints.
Look at the picture. They have like a pad on the bottom of the ground, like in case it looks like in case someone falls out. What is this? Oh my god.
I hope that is for something nearby. Oh no, you know what it is? It's an obstacle course.
Oh,
If you
okay.
look really, really closely, there's a rope ladder above it,
Oh my gosh.
which could also be used in case of evacuation required.
This is crazy. I didn't even know this looks illegal. This doesn't look
There was no way this would run in the
yeah.
United States.
Unless it was like a backyard
this
roller
is-
coaster.
This is something else.
It's a 2-seating inverted roller coaster. I don't even know. I would like to see. Looks like it does have a hill, and it looks like I don't know what else. It looks like it kind of like
It has a lift hill.
has a lift
There-
hill, and then it looks like it kind of just goes
and-
around in
and-
itself.
And they got really innovative. In one of the towers that holds the track up, they just put a wall around it and put rock climbing on the side, so you can literally climb up the side of this roller coaster. And there are no pads under it. This I really want to go ride this to see if I survive.
Yeah, I want to see a POV, but I want to see like the actual. All right, so it looks like it. Okay, here's a good picture. So it does go down, and then it kind of has like a half helix and goes around it. So it does have a significant drop. I'd say that drop's about 30 to 40 feet tall. So I mean that's a pretty. I mean for a roller coaster that looks like it was made by a 12-year-old in Roller Coaster Tycoon. I mean this isn't. I wouldn't even. That's mean to Roller Coaster Tycoon. Actually, that's mean to Roller Coaster Tycoon. This is so poorly made that this is strange.
There's not even any videos of it. It operated from 2009 to 2015.
Oh, so it's no longer operational. I'm sure it.
When
shut down.
seen in early 2015, this coaster wasn't operating.
But it's
nor
still
did
standing. It says still standing. So maybe one day it'll revamp.
or it'll just fall over.
Yeah, or it'll just be like in 20 years, me and Bob are new down in Mexico, and it'll just be standing there, and we'll be like, "This is it."
I'll ride it.
Okay, so this is called Montaña Russa alla Delta, and this is at Parque de Devarazes, Quiqueland. Okay, I don't know if that's anywhere close, but it's in Mequitisi de Camarinia, San Luis Potosi, Mexico. I don't know. It's in Mexico. It's called Montaña Russa Alta Delta. Like Bob said, the RCDB number for it is 9054. So check it out because that's actually something Something I never thought I'd see. Nothing I never thought I'd see. All
This is an interesting one.
right, let's
You
try
got to
something.
check this out.
Yeah,
It's
that is something
entertaining.
you got. I might be pulling up the POV for that later and watching it.
I can't find one.
Oh, okay. It's probably
I'm not kidding you.
non-existing. Anybody that actually
I was
wrote it probably
actually.
died. So, all right. So I got Natur Baubahn in Germany. This is at, I don't even know how to pronounce the park name. It's Kienberg Park in Berlin, Germany. So this looks strange. This is a Rollbob custom model, Rollbob custom, and who
Whoa.
Rollbob. The trains are really cool. It looks like a fighter jet almost. It looks like kind of like a. It looks like.
Hacksterning Metal. I don't know.
All right, the
ID 15075.
1075, like Bob said. So something to check out. This looks almost like a mountain coaster kind of as well,
It looks like a mountain coaster, yeah.
but it doesn't go
Um,
up a mountain or anything like that. It just goes like in flat terrain. It looks like it goes through some trees. It goes up a little hill right here actually. Okay, so it does go up kind of the side of a
yeah,
mountain.
it runs through the woods. But the cars are interesting. They're like little rockets that
Yeah, yeah,
look.
they are. They look like little fighter jets or rockets. Very interesting. Something to check out if you're ever in Berlin for sure. This is really awesome.
This is like a mountain coaster where you don't have mountains.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when you think with Germany, they do have some mountains, so I don't know. This is long. This
Yeah,
is
but not here. It doesn't look like it here.
yeah, 2,600 feet long, so it's a pretty lengthy ride. I'm sure most of it's lift hill like most mountain coasters, but still, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, there is a picture of a lift hill. It does a helix.
It said this coaster is going to be part of a international garden expo. I don't know what that means, but it's going to be a part of some sort of festival.
IGA.
This is in 20. Oh,
Well,
so it's already been a part of this. This is
that
in
was in
2017.
2017.
And I clicked on the link to go to it, and it's all in German, so we're not going to be figuring out what that was. I guess it
Yeah.
was some sort of garden, showcase, and I guess maybe this park is more of a like.
Maybe it's the first ever portable mountain coaster.
Yeah, I don't know
I don't know. It's interesting. Should we do some more?
for sure.
All right, let's do one more here. I Gold Mine Train ID 3611. It is made by L&T Systems. It's a junior coaster, 30 by 14. It's in Italy.
It's getting a lot of kiddie coasters. It looks like. Another one thing. It looks like the Europeans like to theme their rides after like mining a lot. It seems that seems to be a thing.
It is. It is definitely like a mine train. It looks like a kind of a copy of Zero Tivoli with
Yeah.
overgrown supports
But
and
this is cool. They
overgrown
actually built
trees.
like a mine shaft,
Yeah,
and I mean you go into it
that's kind of impressive. I'm actually kind of this is kind of cool.
yeah, for a kiddie coaster. Definitely a lot more.
It's sponsored by Coca-Cola.
So
Good to
this has
know.
a very Six Flagsy feel to it.
I don't know. This looks like a pretty solid junior coaster, actually.
Yeah, I'm happily impressed
Yeah.
for sure. All right, let's see what we get now. All right. Oh, Crazy Loop at Pleasure Island Family Theme Park in the UK. This is a Pinfari Cyclone. Yay! Exciting stuff here. ID number 861. But hopefully you can just understand. This isn't any weird language. It's just Crazy Loop at Pleasure
Yeah.
Island Family Theme Park. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much more. It's
It's a Pinfari.
Yeah.
It'll hurt.
I'm sure that's yeah. It'll not be the most comfortable ride experience of your life, probably. It's been
Yeah.
relocated. It was at Flamingo Land. It was at Pleasure Island, and it was also at Breen Theme Park. So it's been relocated 3 times. It looks like, and it was refurbished in 1996. So yeah, it looks like a pretty solid attraction.
It was always called Crazy Loop too.
Yep.
It has a loop, and
And
it's crazy. And
and
if
it
you
was-
ride it, you're crazy.
And we're talking about it in Coaster Crazy,
Yes.
or Coaster Craze to be exact.
Yeah. All right. Let's get another one here. Oh my God. Um.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. This
You're,
is a wacky worm. It looks like
oh
that.
boy.
Got sick.
Got a haircut?
I mean, the ID is 10067.
All right, this looks like it's at like a fair or something
It
too.
only operated from 2011 to 2013. The track layout is oval. The
Yeah.
track support is what. Oh, okay. I see what's going on. Wow. It looks like they use. There's points where it looks like there's like pieces of track holding the track. And if you look at the back of the train, it looks like a candy corn. I,
Yeah.
I
This
don't.
is this is strange.
This is like somebody like they
I
actually
actually think
succeeded
the
in
front of the
making
train is
wacky worms.
I
The
think
seats are a bench. There is no restraint. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's like, I mean, wacky worm. Do you really need restraints? But like, holy crap! It's almost like the seats are almost like a kind of like Enterprise,
yeah.
except this does not go upside down, at least not intentionally.
That's strange. Yeah, it's all right. Let's go on to the next one. Oh, and here we go again. Another mine coaster. This is called Mine Roller Coaster in China. Again, I'm not gonna even try to pronounce the cities that these rides are located in, especially if they're in Chinese or German or Dutch. So this is in China. It's ID number 16316. And it looks just like a
It's a golden horse
yeah, it's a golden horse. It's just like a
arrow version.
yeah, it's like a rip-off mine train, pretty much.
And there's scaffolding around all the theming.
Yeah, it looks like they never
That's
finished.
supposed to be part of the theming.
I think it's just like they never finished building it. Maybe.
They still like it. Did they never?
Wait, it looks
finish,
like the
or is
ride
it-
itself never opened or something. Look at
Wait, is that what's going on?
picture number
Oh,
7.
it's under construction.
What? Oh,
It's opening in 2020.
what? It's not even an open ride. It doesn't look like a new ride at all. Though. Looking at this, it looks like it could have opened in the 1970s. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I was about to say, did this ride like never open or? Yeah, so they're still building. It looks like the theming, like the mountain structures around it. But this is a golden horse mine train, basically, which is kind of strange. It looks like it has 2 lift hills, so that are right next to each
Side
other.
by side.
Yeah, I was thinking at first maybe it's a dueling mine train, but it doesn't look like that. But yeah, it's strange. So ID number 16316, mine train coaster in China.
All right, you want to do? Let's do. You want to do one more, 2 more? What do you want? What do you?
Yeah,
think?
we'll do 2 more.
2 more. All right, let me pull one up here.
Oh boy.
3388 Hexenbessen.
Hexen Mexen.
Oh,
Oh,
it's actually made by Wagon.
oh,
what is-
whoa.
What is going on here?
Is this?
Oh my god, it's like an inverted version of a mountain coaster.
Wow.
That is the strangest looking car I've ever seen in my life.
It looks like those like the circular flat rides where you spin around. I don't remember what those are called now that I'm thinking about.
Oh yeah, but it doesn't look like it spins.
Yeah,
No,
I
it
know, but
doesn't
it
spin.
looks like those though.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Reminiscent of those where you sit across from whoever's there. Are there restraints on this? Doesn't look like there's restraints. Look like you just sit down. Looks like you just sit down and that's it. I don't see any restraints. And one of the trains has like actual seat back on it. Then the other one looks like it just has netting on it. Like you just sit on a net.
This is so weird.
This is
I mean,
weird.
like I know this is a reputable company, but like
It doesn't look like
there's
it does much of a layout. It looks like it just kind of goes in a circle.
I
Is this
wonder if this is like a
Pow-
test or something.
This is powered?
No. I love the cube of parts. The second picture.
Yeah.
It's been operating since 2007, and it's considered a suspended family coaster.
All right. Well,
So it's not a. It's actually not a mountain coaster.
and it translates to witch's broom, Hexen Besson.
This is very, very interesting.
It's not very long. Only goes 984 feet, 15
It
miles
really
an hour.
doesn't look like there are seatbelts.
Doesn't look like there's much to the layout though. So it looks like there's not really.
No.
But it does look like
But,
at one
oh
point.
my
I mean, at
God,
one point,
these
look,
cars are hilarious.
and look at one point. It looks like the train's actually shifting to one side. So it looks like there is some sort of force being applied to the train. It's not like you're just going on a
Yeah.
slow little journey. It looks like it actually has some force to it because on one of the pictures, it actually looks like the train is tilting over to one side.
It's like a Carapro meets an Aero suspended.
Yeah, like an arrow suspended. I was gonna say, very reminiscent of that.
Wow.
Very strange.
This is an interesting one. And it looks almost like it's like. Is it coin operated? Is this a coin operated roller coaster?
Is it
I look picture number 8. Look at it. I honestly think this is a coin operated roller
a
coaster.
coin-operated roller coaster?
I'm
so-
not kidding.
If
Like,
so, we may have the first of all time.
no, there
Wow.
are a couple, but this is a rather large one.
Yeah, it does look
Like
like it.
there's no operator station. There, like
It just has like a little light on it, and you looks like you insert the coin and press the little button there, and yeah, it looks like that's how this thing operates. That is so strange. I don't know. Is this located at a park or is this another like outdoor? Oh, it's a ski resort. Okay. Well, and they actually have another coaster as well. They have another mountain coaster. All right. Well, that's interesting. So
that's
this is
very interesting.
this is very
Nice
very-
little trip to Germany there.
yeah, definitely.
Wow. They actually even have a defunct roller coaster.
Yeah, it looks like they are somewhat of a attraction park as well. It looks like, oh wow, oh okay. So it looks like I don't know.
They redid it.
Yeah, it looks like they redid it, so it's still the same ride, I think.
Oh, it's described as being longer and faster.
Okay,
Yeah, the other coaster is Ron Bob, I think.
Ron Bob.
It's a very interesting one.
All right.
I'd really like to. I really want to know.
Okay, this is a good one to close out on because this is a pretty popular ride, and this is a good one. Balder at Leesburg in Sweden. This is the Intamin prefab that many people talk about as being a fantastic ride. It looks great. I'm so looking forward to getting on this one day. This ride looks crazy. I've heard it's
Oh yeah.
very,
yeah.
very similar to the likes of El Toro in terms of airtime. Looks like a great ride. I love how compact it is too. You fit such. I mean,
I like that tunnel in the middle. Is that a tunnel? Looks like a tunnel.
yes, I believe so.
Oh, it looks like there's a couple tunnels on it.
And it's amazing to me. This looks like it takes no more than maybe 2 acres of space, but you have almost 4,000 feet of track there.
Man, they really did shoehorn this in the middle of
Yeah.
like. Good lord.
Leesburg is a very reputable park there. They have some very good attractions. So Balder is definitely a coaster that I want to get to. Also, Helix is supposed to be one of the best Mack multi-launch coasters. And then Valkyria is supposed to be one of the best B&M dive coasters. So I definitely want to get to Leesburg. So this is a good coaster to close out on. Not a freak coaster. Not a weird, unusual, crazy coaster, but a solid, reputable ride. Balder at Leesburg. Intamin prefab. Looks great. This might be something we have to do more often. I enjoyed this. This was fun. And there's so many different coasters out there.
Let us know. Definitely.
Yeah, if
let
this is
us
something
know
you
what
like,
you
if you
think.
like hearing about this and maybe you like researching along with us, let us know. If this is something you didn't like and you're like, hurry up and get on with the next segment, then let us know that as well. But that was definitely fun from our point of view. Something that we should do. So close it out with Balder at Leesburg. We did some weird coasters. And I'm glad. That was a lot of fun. So now we're going to move on to the break run. We're going to get back into normal things here and do an actual, it's not scripted, but a planned out segment where we actually have something to talk about. We're not just going to randomly choose anything anymore. We're going to move on to the break run. And we're going to talk about what we consider to be the most historically significant rides that are still in operation to this day.
That was fun.
That was good. Yes, I enjoyed that.
This Monte Russa alla Delta, like, oh my god, I need to know more.
I need to figure out so many of those rides. I you think you know roller coasters and then you do that.
I,
I didn't even know roller coasters like that existed. I mean, wow.
I really hope there's a POV of this thing somewhere.
Which one are you looking at?
Montana, the
Oh, the
the
weird.
inverted coaster from.
Yeah, let's look. I'll look real quick. We interrupt this live stream to bring you some more important news. Looking at the POV from some weird Mexican park that no longer exists.
Yeah, I can't find anything on this thing.
I'm not finding it either.
Oh, here's a coaster trip.
A what?
The park came to enthusiasts' notice roughly 2 years ago when a friend of mine randomly found it on Google. Her interest was piqued by Monte Russa Ella Delta, a homemade inverted coaster circling the entire facility, which sadly had been closed for some time. The various staff members on duty today had a variety of stories about the provenance and demise of the ride, with the only common feature being that the lift hill motor had burned out at some point in the past. While it was a shame to miss out on such a unique attraction, it was impossible not to feel a slight sense of relief given what happened the last time I tried to decidedly suspect credit. I don't know, that's a link to another story. I really want to know.
I really want to see a POV of that.
Such a spectacular whatever it is. All right. Should probably move on, I guess.
I guess. All right. You ready?
Yep. Ready when you are.
All right. So I'm gonna check some stuff. Daniel's hilarious.
What do you say?
He posted on a story, I shot a squirrel today. Like, and then it was him taking a picture of a squirrel. Saying like I shot it. Okay.
I'm actually posting this CDB entry to Twitter.
All right. I'm glad we have different lists too. I was hoping that you would have some different picks. Millennium got mentioned quite a bit, so I'm glad we didn't put that on. Let's see if we can talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, Millennium's on my list, but not in my top 5. I'm ready whenever you are.
All right. Ooh. Something about Hollywood Nights got posted. So that's just the Facebook group chat. Probably just people talking about how they want it to happen. Whenever I see something about Hollywood Nights pop up in my...
You just have to.
Alrighty. You ready?
Yep.
I know you already said you were ready, but I just like saying you're ready again. So there are different roller coasters throughout history that have made an impact on the industry in various different ways. There's different standards we might say. You might say this roller coaster has shaped the industry. I don't know what I'm talking about. Hey. I like just winging it sometimes, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the words just pop into my head, and sometimes I just ramble on like a complete moron. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. All right, let's try it again. There are the different rides throughout the history of the industry that have... I don't know what I'm going to start off with. Should I just say rides have been historical? Different rides throughout the course of history that have altered the way the industry works. Altered the way the industry operates, maybe. Changed the course of the industry. I'll just say that. Changed the course of the industry.
Yeah, okay. That works.
There are rides throughout the course of history that have changed how the industry works and how it operates and how it functions. And some of those rides we have in our top 5 most historically significant rides today. And we're talking about rides that are operating, because there are so many rides out there that, obviously are closed now. Rides, you could talk about like the mountain coasters that used to operate in France back in the 1800s and stuff like that. We're not going to talk about those stuff though. We're going to talk about rides that are still operating today that are important to the coaster industry history. So we have some from the audience, and I first wanted to list those before we do our top 5s. Nobody said their top 5s, but we do have some we do have some lists of just a couple of coasters that people wrote in. So someone said Comet at Hershey Park, Loch Ness Monster at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, Coney Island Cyclone, which is something that I will actually mention later on. Someone said Matterhorn Bobsled, Millennium Force, Magnum XL200, and we also got a Racer 75 at King's Dominion. So we there's some pretty
those are all
some
valid,
good, yeah,
very valid
responses there. So now we're going to give our top 5s. So some of those coasters that were sent in, we actually mentioned in our top 5s. So we're both going to start off listing our number 5. So my number 5 is Coney Island Cyclone, and I think that's just so important because it's really become the face of the industry. when people think about roller coasters, people always say Coney Island Cyclone. I mean, whenever I say I'm a roller coaster enthusiast to someone that doesn't know, they're like, have you ridden Coney Island Cyclone? I actually have not ridden Coney Island Cyclone. So I'm always like, no. And they're like, how have you never ridden Coney Island Cyclone? And I'm like, because it's not, near any, I don't really go up to New York City to ride. I've never been up to New York City. When I go to theme parks, I don't normally go to, I'm not going to go to New York City just to ride this ride. Eventually we'll get on it, but, people are always like in disbelief that I've never ridden it. It really has become the face of the industry. And it's such an iconic attraction, so I think it definitely deserves to be. In terms of historically significant, it really it's just become the icon of the theme park industry. So I think that's why it's so important historically, and it's also crazy old. It opened in like the 1920s, so it's an old attraction, and it really has become the face of amusement parks.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the most known coasters, I think. Especially by name.
Yes.
A lot of people know that one, that red one. No, this one people know.
The Cyclone. Actually, they'll call it the Cyclone.
So, yeah, the interesting thing is it actually isn't the Coney Island Cyclone, though, is it?
It is.
I thought it's actually maybe. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's weird because it's like history. In a part of a different park now.
Yeah, it is. But it's still called the Coney Island Cyclone. It's at Luna Park now. Yes.
Okay, well then. My number 5 is actually Flight of Fear at both Kings Island and Kings Dominion. They both opened at the same time. And I think these are extremely significant because they were the first to feature linear induction motors, which I can't even imagine coasters like the industry without LIMs and LSMs. And an LSM is nothing but a newer version of LIM for the most part in layman's terms. I mean, they brought so much excitement to the industry. And I just think like without those, launches just wouldn't be what they are today. And even the more powerful launches probably wouldn't be there because nobody would have anything else to beat.
That is true. That is valid. Moving on to my number 4 and to Bob's number 4, to the number 4 spot. We're going to talk about my book, Magnum XL200 at Cedar Point, which was the first hypercoaster. That really just changed the game. It was the first coaster to go over 200 feet. And then since then, people have been building taller and taller and taller. We've now gotten to King to Ka, 450 feet up in the air. And without Magnum XL200, who knows where the industry in terms of height would stand, I mean, sure, we probably would have gotten there eventually. But
without Magnum, the polar coaster wouldn't be a thing. Oh, wait.
Is that a thing? Yes, but who knows how long it would have taken, someone else, if Cedar Point didn't do it, then who else would have done it? That's the kind of thing that we have to think about. Would anybody else been brave enough to attempt it? I don't know. That's it's all up. History would be completely different, and that's why I think it is a significant ride.
My number 4 is Montezuma's Revenge at Knott's Berry Farm. I haven't actually rode it, but I rode one like it, the Laser Loop at Kennywood. The thing about this is it's not the very first launch coaster, but I believe it's the first launch coaster that is actually still operating. And this was a Schwarzkopf creation.
It was the first flywheel launch coaster,
too. This was the first flywheel,
yeah.
I think the year before this, there were a couple that opened with a weight drop.
The drop weights, yeah.
But there may have been something before that I'm not aware of. I mean, some weaker launches. I think Arrow had a launch. It was a lot weaker. I don't know if that came before or after. But certainly Montezuma's Revenge is just had a huge impact on the industry. Without it, without Schwarzkopf's launches, I mean, again, it might not be a thing. I think Flight of Fear took that and kicked it up a notch, but Montezuma's in the class of coaster that started the whole launch craze.
Indeed. Very valid. Now, my number 3 spot now, moving on to number 3, is the Beast at Kings Island. And the reason I find this so historically significant is because of I looked back on the record books to like figure out what was the longest wooden coaster before the Beast, and I couldn't find it because because there was nothing this long. So all the record books are full of coasters that were built in the 2000s and in the 1990s, but nothing in the 70s was this long. This coaster is 7,500 feet long. It's insane, and it really just showed what coasters could do. They didn't have to be short. They didn't have to be, they could be these long, huge rides. And now we have plenty of those. Fear 325, Steel Dragon 2000, Timna 305. They're all like over 5,000, over 6,000 feet long. And the Beast, I mean, to this day, is still the longest wooden coaster. And it just showed what coasters could do. They could go this long extent. And it's just crazy to think. I mean, this is 1979. This isn't the 1980s or even the 1990s. This is 1979. So this is, King's Dominion just opened, 4 years before that. Busch Gardens Williamsburg just opened 4 years before that. Kings Island had just opened up. I mean, all these Kings Island just opened up in the 1971. So all these parks were brand new. The industry was pretty new in terms of building these extreme thrill machines. And then the Beast comes along and really kicks it up a notch and shows what roller coasters could do.
I think the thing about the Beast too is it's more of it shows that you can do extreme stuff and be successful. Because I know, like, the creation of the Beast has this long history, and it wasn't like planned out very well. It was a lot of people saying, "Let's do this, let's do this, let's do this," and somebody going, "Okay, okay, okay," and then at the end, they went, "Oh crap! Like we're way over budget." And Kings Island was actually off about this ride at the beginning because they went so far over budget. But I mean, I think that's the thing that the Beast shows is you could do something really crazy and be successful. And I definitely agree with this. It's lower than my top 5, but I agree it's a pretty significant ride.
Indeed.
And my number 3 is Magnum XL 200, and I think the thing that Magnum XL 200 did, I mean, yes, it hit that 200-foot mark. But it wasn't so much that. I mean, it wasn't really that much taller than the next tallest coaster. But what it did was it kind of started the marketing craze that was actually effective. We've kind of hit this era now where records don't mean much because they're making up obscure records. Like it's the biggest blue coaster that opened on the, first Friday of May. I don't know. It's just I don't think they're effective now, but back then it was like, oh my God, like we have to do something. We have, and it became, it started the Coaster Wars. It literally started the Coaster Wars. And I think without Magnum, we wouldn't be anywhere near where we are today. We may have got there eventually, but just not as rapidly.
Totally. Yeah, it's like I said earlier, very historically significant ride, and it showed the industry what rides can be capable of, just similar to the Beast in terms of length as did in terms of height. It showed how, and then I mean, after that it just kept going and going and going and going and going. So now we're going to move on to the number 2 spots that we have. I have Scenic Railway at Luna Park. This is the oldest continually operating roller coaster in the world, and again, just kind of like Coney Island Cyclone, it just has a name for itself. I know many people that have, they're always talking about Scenic Railway. That's just kind of a go-to coaster to talk about. Not everyone knows, what the coaster's about or anything, but that's just a coaster that's been talked about quite a bit in the history books and in terms of the general public talk about it quite a bit. And it's one of the only roller coasters in the world that still has a brakeman who operates the ride. And it's just a cool attraction, and it's one of the oldest. It's the oldest continually operating roller coaster in the world, and one of the oldest in general. So I just think it's such a historically significant ride because it shaped the industry.
My number 2 is Matterhorn bobsleds at Disneyland. I mean, let's face it, pretty much every steel roller coaster today is a tubular steel track in some shape or fashion. And if Arrow and Disney hadn't got together and done this, where would we be? I mean, Who knows though? Maybe we would have ended up with Eibach track a lot earlier. It's kind of hard to say, but certainly this definitely set the tone for what steel coasters would become. And the landscape would be very, very different without it.
Indeed, and that's definitely an honorable mention for me as well. My number one, though, is Leap the Dips at Lakemont Park. This is the oldest roller coaster in the world, and again, just like Cyclone, just like Great Scenic Railway, it has a name for itself. I've heard Leap the Dips talked about so much, even before being an enthusiast. I mean, it's a national historical landmark. It's not only a roller coaster ace landmark; it is a national historical landmark. It is just such an important thing. It was almost destroyed in 1985, but with the help of the community, they prevented that from happening, and they preserved it. And that is why when we talk about the other Scenic Railway being the oldest continually operating, this actually did not continue to operate for a while. So this is built in 1902, though. 1902. That is crazy to think about. I mean, over 100 years ago, still to this day is operating, and it's one of the only remaining side friction roller coasters in the world. So it's just it has a lot going for it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, it's a unique ride. It's kind of, I mean, it's not what you think of a roller coaster, but it's kind of fun in a way. I mean, the dips literally feel like sometimes the car just disappeared and you fell. It's a fun ride, and I have to say this. It's kind of interesting how people look at history and like you kind of focus on different parts of history and different influences. Leap the Dips, I think, is an extremely significant coaster. And you're absolutely right in it being very historical. For me, I'm looking more at like how things changed. Leap the Dips is amazing because it gives us a glimpse of history, which is extremely important because, I mean, the side friction coasters would be gone if it wasn't for this. So people today still have a chance to go back into history and ride this old technology and actually experience it and see what it was. I mean, leap the dips for its time. There were a ton of them around, but this was the only one that survived. And it's kind of funny to think that if the park would have been able to afford to demolish it in 1985, it wouldn't be there. They were literally just too broke to demolish it. My number one is Jackrabbit at Kennywood. And this is the interesting thing that like people love the Jackrabbit, but they don't really realize this fact. The upstop wheels were patented in 1919 by John Miller. I don't know why I always get John Miller and
John C. Allen.
Yeah, John C. Allen. John Miller. Yeah,
Okay.
It was John Miller, right? I'm second guessing myself. But yeah, so he actually patented the upstop wheels in 1919, and Jackrabbit was built in 1920. So I wasn't able to find a clear indication of whether this definitely was the first ride that actually had upstop wheels or up friction. But it certainly is one of the first, if not the first.
Probably the first, the first one to utilize them that's still operating.
Well, that's definitely yeah, that definitely would be the case. I think it. I mean, you just think about it. Like you go to Leap the Dips. That coaster, those trains could fly off the track at any time if you designed the track in a way that didn't take physics into account. Whenever you add the up friction, you actually are able to do bigger drops. I do find it kind of funny though that hey, we should probably tie the car to the track. But the fun thing about Jackrabbit is they didn't actually tie the passengers to the car, which is probably why it makes it so much fun. Now there obviously is a very small seatbelt that doesn't really do much, but I think it changed the course of history because if you didn't tie those cars down, we wouldn't have the thrills that we have today. And I mean, as you move through history, somebody would have figured it out. but how much further behind the curve would we have been? It certainly is a huge thing.
For sure. So all those rides that we listed off today are huge historically rides that have impacted the industry in different ways. What do you guys think is the most historical significant ride of all time, though? That's all up to you guys. I hope, based on this, you guys can form some sort of opinion on that. I don't know if you guys would do our list differently, but if you can, you can contact us. Contact the show, koshertalkpodcast.com/contact, or email me personally, james@koshertalkpodcast.com, if you want to reach out and give me your list or just discuss that. Because, hey, we're all sitting here in this kind of self-quarantine, so any discussion at this point is up for grabs. So if you want to do that, you can. But yeah, those are our top 5 most historical significant rides still in operation to this day, because there are definitely some coasters out there that, like I said earlier, like the mountain coasters that used to basically use like sleds to go down them or whatever. Those are definitely hugely historically significant because they were the first roller coaster ever. So, things like that. We're talking more about rides that are still in operation to this day. So that is about it for the break run this week. The weekly poll coming up. So the break run for next week's show will be, during this crisis that we're all going through right now, are you involving yourself more or less in the coaster content out there? So this can be video game coaster content, YouTube channels, podcasts. Are you looking at maps? Are you looking at park websites? Are you looking at more coaster content than you normally would have, let's say last time this year? Because a lot of us, a lot of you might say, yes, obviously, because I have nothing else to do. But a lot of people might be trying to avoid that just, because I know for a fact, sometimes I find myself watching videos and I'm like, I'm so upset, I'm so depressed, I can't be here right now. And then I just turn it off and I'm like, I'm done. So a lot of you might be doing that long term and just saying, I'm not going to be looking at coaster stuff. I'm going to be doing other stuff. I'm going to be watching Netflix. I'm going to be watching movies. I'm going to be, reading books. I'm not going to be focused on the coaster content because I'm not actually there. So are you playing more roller coaster games? Are you watching more roller coaster YouTubers? Are you reading more roller coaster related blog posts and news articles? Or are you actually involving yourself in less? That's the question, because I know that can be different for certain people, and I don't know. We'll hear your thoughts and opinions on that on next week's show, and we'll also discuss ours as well. So that is about it for this episode of Kosher Talk. It was a lot of fun, Bob. A very different episode. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was definitely fun. I enjoyed it a lot.
Let us know if you guys enjoyed that, though. Let us know if you enjoyed the random roller coasters. And maybe we'll have to make that a reoccurring segment every once in a while on the show. Because if you guys enjoyed that, then that was a lot of fun.
One every week, even.
Yeah, maybe.
Even when parks open back up, and
if you enjoy it. All right, so that was about it for episode number 67 of Kosher Talk Podcast. We're getting closer and closer to 100. It seems like a slow climb, especially now that this is going on. For a while there, it felt like we were speeding up, and now it feels like we're kind of slowing back down again with the COVID crisis right now. But hopefully that you guys got a good escape there. We did about an hour and a half show this week, so pretty lengthy show. Hopefully you guys got somewhat of an escape and had a little bit of fun listening along with us. That is about it for this episode. Again, you can check us out on Twitter at KosherTalk_pod. Check out Bob's Kosher account, Kosher Talk Bob. You can follow us on Facebook at Kosher Talk Pod, Instagram at Kosher Talk Pod. If you want to contact us, again, you can contact us, koshertalkpodcast.com/contact, or you can email me, James at koshertalkpodcast.com. Thank you guys so much for listening. I've been James Barber.
And I've been Bob Mertz.
And you've been listening to Kosher Talk Podcast. I'll see you guys all next week. Bye, guys. I said I instead of we, but whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's all right.
They get the point.
They know what you mean.
All right, anyone that's still watching or that was watching or will be watching in the future, peace.
See you later.
I know some people like to go back and watch these again, so. All right, bye, guys.